Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today's video, as the title suggests, is all about my year abroad in France. I have done several other videos on my year abroad in France. I came back from France last year, end of April, and since then I have gotten quite a few questions regarding the placement that I did. I tried to cover as many things as possible on those videos that I did, but inevitably people still had certain questions that they wanted to ask me. So I thought I would do a FAQ video just to answer some of those frequently asked questions. You may or may not know that I actually did my placement with the British Council. So I was a language assistant and I worked in various primary schools. So I did a work placement. I wasn't studying. I was living in a small rural French town. I was living with French people and I was obviously earning a wage. So just bear in mind those factors. Okay, so some of these are tailored towards the placement that I did, but some of them are also more generic. So anyway, I'll jump straight in. The first one, probably the most frequently asked question, is which bank did I go with in France? So I actually went with BNP Paribas. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. It's the bank with the green logo. They actually have banks across the world, I believe. I know they have one in London, I've seen it. Quite a widely known bank, I think. And I just did some research around banking, obviously, beforehand. And a lot of people said that BNP was quite a good bank to go with. I wasn't particularly fussed, I just needed a bank so I can put money in and take money out. That's pretty much all I really needed it for. So I wasn't after anything too specific, to be honest. It was fairly straightforward. I had to book an appointment with the bank and it took about half an hour, the meeting. So I had to fill in quite a lot of paperwork. If you're going to France, you will get used to paperwork. I opened a sort of current account with them. I got a card which I had to wait a couple of weeks for, and I also had to wait a couple of weeks for my online banking details. It was a bit of a slow process. Once that was all done, everything was perfect. I could log into my account, I could see all my transactions, I could also do international transfers on there, which had to be done in person, but that was obviously something that was key because at the end of the placement I had to transfer my leftover money to my English bank account. So for things like that, big things, it's possible that you will have to do them in person, but in terms of making online payments, I think I just had to, they texted me a code and then I used that code to process online payments. So everything was fine, everything was cushy. I also liked, this sounds really random, the cash points, BNP cash points. They're quite easy to use. They're quite, I don't know how to explain it, but the way that they're set up is quite user friendly. And also I think you can withdraw €5 notes from them, I think. So yeah, all around, it was pretty straightforward, pretty easy to set up. Obviously it was daunting because I had to do all this in French, and this was one of the very first things that I did once I moved there. So this was something straightforward, but it didn't seem straightforward because obviously it was in another country and it was all a bit daunting in general. It worked out fine, and I think just make sure if you have any questions to ask those questions and to understand really how the whole system works. So yeah, don't be afraid to sort of ask questions. They're obviously going to know that you're not French, so don't hesitate, just ask away. And yeah, I would say just go for whatever bank you think is good. I don't think it's too much of a big deal. Like I said, for me, I just wanted to be able to get paid and to pay for things. So yeah. Okay, number 2 is, did I get a French SIM? I didn't actually get a French SIM while I was out there. This was something that I was deliberating over for a while. But what I decided was that because I went away for about 7 months, I couldn't really justify getting a French SIM or even a French phone because I'm with 3 So when I go abroad in certain countries, I am still able to use my data as if I was in England, so it's exactly the same. And calling people was also the same. It worked in exactly the same way. So for that reason, I didn't feel the need to kind of change my SIM really, because if in doubt, I could always use the internet to communicate with people. Like WhatsApp is through the internet. You can call people on WhatsApp, you can call people on a lot of different social media platforms now. The only time I really needed to contact another French person was one of my teachers, I think, and that was just one person during the whole time that I was there. So I didn't feel like it was completely necessary. If I was there for longer, perhaps I would have got a SIM card. You know, if I was going to be liaising with a lot of French people. But even then, like, a lot of people do use the internet, basically. My housemates, my French housemates, I communicated with them through Facebook Messenger and stuff. So I really didn't think it was necessary. You could always buy a cheap phone and get like a cheap deal. But if you do have a plan already with your phone company that allows you to kind of use your phone as normal whilst abroad, then I would say just don't bother getting a SIM, because I don't think there's any point. Question number 3 is specific to the placement I was doing. So you can skip this one if it doesn't apply to you. But it's, did you take any resources with you? So because I was teaching in primary schools, they said that we were allowed to bring things with us that we wanted to show the kids. So souvenirs or any items from home that we thought might be of interest to the kids, basically. I didn't actually take any resources with me. I know some people do, and that's cool. Like, it is, you know, if I went back again, I would probably take some stuff, some, you know, typical British stuff to show the kids. So for the more cultural side of things, it's good to do that. But don't panic if you like don't have any resources to take, because for the lessons themselves, I just used the internet. I used the resources that the schools had. It was really straightforward. Like, don't get in a panic about resources, because it's not something that you need to really think about. It's not a priority, I would say. Question number 4 is, how much did your French improve? So as I said, I was there for about 7 months. My French obviously did improve. However, if I had gone for longer, I think it would definitely have improved more. I think I got the balance quite good. So I had a lot of English speaking friends, and that was good in the sense that if I needed to just talk to someone that spoke my own language, or if I just needed to vent or whatever, you know, I could go with them, I could hang out with them, and we all went and explored together. So we all were kind of in the same bubble, like we all felt like foreigners together. And then I spoke French with obviously everyone else. I spoke French at the schools. I spoke French in my house because my housemates were French. But the annoying thing is, I wish I got on with my housemates more, because then I'm sure my French would have drastically improved. Didn't get on with them as well as I would have liked to, so that was a bit annoying. And also one of them spoke really good English, so he was the one that I communicated with the most, and I don't know, I would have liked to have done more, basically. I think I should have thrown myself into it a little bit more. I don't know if I mentioned this in one of my other videos, but it felt like by the time I had got used to living there, it was time to leave. So I definitely feel like going there for longer than 7 months, minimum a year, I think, is going to be useful to you, because you need that long period of time to actually settle in. Then once you settle in, you can really throw yourself into it. And like I just said, I felt as if as soon as I managed to settle in, I had to leave. So yeah, I think going there for a decent amount of time is the key to improving your language and also immersing yourself. If you want to learn, you literally just have to throw yourself in the deep end and be surrounded by it. Like, eat, sleep, breathe the language that you want to learn, okay? Question number 5 is, how does the whole placement preference thing work? So again, this question is specific to the placement that I did with the British Council. You can skip this one if you want. Basically, what happens is that you have 3 choices of area. Now, all the places that you can potentially choose are grouped. So if you wanted to choose Paris and Marseille, if they're in the same group, then you can only choose one. You have to choose one from each group. can be a bit annoying because there may be several cities, for example, that you really want to go to, but if they're all in the same group, or if it just doesn't, it may not just work out the way that you want it to. That's kind of how it works. And also, they try to obviously match you with your first choice. If they can't match you with your first choice, they'll match you to your second choice or your third choice, whatever. If they can't match you with any of your choices, then they'll match you to a place that's close to your first choice. So I didn't get any of my choices, but my area ended up being somewhere that was like fairly close to my first choice. Wasn't really, but it was a bit annoying, especially as I wanted to be in a city and I was not in a city, I was in a town. It is what it is. It's still an experience. I feel like don't let the whole area preference thing be the one thing on your mind or the one thing that stresses you out, because at the end of the day, you're going to another country. Yeah, you're going to obviously have in mind somewhere that you'd like to go, but wherever you go, you're still getting that experience and still immersing yourself in the culture and everything. So I would say don't get too hung up on it. I mean, if I had my way, I would have been in the city, but then I wouldn't have had the experience that I had at the same time. Everything happens for a reason. You just gotta go with it. You just gotta go with it. Also, in terms of the age range and all that stuff, I wanted to get primary schools and I did, so that was good. I think pretty much all the people I know, the other assistants, did get their choice. So secondary school, primary school, whatever. Yeah, that wasn't really an issue. But I think the area is the one that people get a bit like confused / they mull over it a lot. You know, some places are going to be more popular than others. I wanted Nice. Nice is obviously like on the coast, beautiful city, but very, very popular. So I can understand why I didn't necessarily get Nice, you know. Also, you never know, it might work in your favour. If I had been in Nice, I probably would have spent a lot more money. I know everyone wants to go to Paris, but Paris is hella expensive, guys. So just bear that in mind, you know, you might end up saving a lot of money. I know I did. The key thing, and I will always say this about year abroad in general, is to have a positive mindset and to kind of have a good attitude at all times. Because if you go into something with a negative attitude, then you're not really gonna benefit from it in any way. But if you go into it with a positive attitude, then even if it doesn't seem that great, it will be okay. It will be okay. The very last question is, how did you make friends? So first and foremost, social media is definitely your best friend. I actually found a group for all the other language assistants in my town, and that's how we got chatting, and we used that to meet up and arrange stuff. I was quite lucky because there was a lot of other assistants in my town. This may not be the case for everyone. If that is the case, just kind of be really, really open and use every opportunity to meet people. Say yes to every opportunity. Find a hobby, find an outlet, and I promise you that if you go somewhere and you don't know anyone, you kind of instinctively force yourself to meet people. I know this is one of the scariest things about going away, but like I said, I think it's instinctive. Like, you force yourself to be open and to be sociable because you have to be if you want to meet people. But I promise you will. Like, we're constantly surrounded by people, you know, the world's overpopulated and all that. So yeah, just don't worry too much about it. I promise you, you will meet other people. And yeah, use the internet, use social media, because it is actually a really useful tool. It really depends on the nature of your year abroad as well. Like, if you're studying, that's definitely a great way to meet people, because you will be in an educational institution, you know, you'll meet other students. If you're working, you know, be friendly with your colleagues. Do make sure you go out with them, you know, socialise with them, and then you may meet other people through them. Even maybe getting yourself a pen pal. I don't know if that seems a bit far-fetched, but that's, you know, a decent way of ensuring that you know someone beforehand. I actually made friends with a few of my teachers. I didn't think I would do that, but I actually did. They don't necessarily have to be people your age. Anyway, don't stress too much about that, because like I said, you will meet people whether you like it or not. That's just about it from me. I hope I managed to answer your questions fully. And if you need to ask me anything else, or you just want me to expand on something, then leave a comment. All my social media links as well will be in the description box. So if you want to like DM me on Instagram, do it. I'm very friendly. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and enjoy your year abroad if you are going on a year abroad. I'm assuming you are because you're watching this video. Yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!